What's going on, guys? This is Crozin and welcome to the Dex Luck and Hollow Bleed build for Dark Souls 3. I know a lot of you wanted to see some type of bleed build and I just never got around towards doing them until now, but you will see a strength bleed build literally right after this one. I'm going to be working on that one as soon as I finish up recording this, and it's basically just the same build except a strength version, and you're going to be using strength weapons as well. But I gotta say, thank you guys for all the support, especially for Dark Souls 3. I didn't really expect so many of you to be into these builds, but you guys have been very supportive and you guys have been enjoying them, so I will be continuing to do a lot of Dark Souls 3 builds because I haven't even scratched the surface on how many builds I can get out of this game. But for this luck build, we're going to be using the Warden Hollow Twinblades, or I should say the Hollow Warden Twinblades, as our main weapon, and we're also going to be using the Caestus Rouge, I believe that's how you pronounce that. But that's mainly the way that we're going to get our bleed effect off on our enemy. It's literally only like 3 hits and you get this insanely overpowered bleed burst. But that's the way we want to do this bleed build. But also for our secondary weapon, we're going to be using the washing pole. So as you see, what I like to do in these clips is I like to get my bleed off first with the Warden Twinblades, and then after that I kind of like to switch over to the washing pole just because I feel a little bit more comfortable using that weapon rather than using the Twinblades for the whole fight. But as you see, even in this clip here, where you got people who try to turtle with shields and try to be a little bit fancy, you can basically just pierce right through shields with this bleed effect. So it really kind of helps, especially for those who like to turtle. You're going to be KOing them pretty easily. But it's a lot of fun to use, and I definitely like these bleed builds a lot, and I think you guys are going to like that strength one as well. But for this build, you want to start out with either the warrior or the herald class. I like to go with the warrior for this one since they just have a better stat distribution, but you don't want to start out with the knight in this one because you're going to be wasting 1 extra point in the long run. So that's why I like the warrior for this. So I'll be right back, guys, and I will show you how this build looks like in game, and I will try not to miss anything this time. So I'll be right back in a second. Alright, so here we are in the stat menu, and we have 40 vigor, we have 14 attunement, we have 35 endurance, 20 vitality, 21 strength, 40 dex. On my character, I have 9 intelligence, but if you guys started out with the warrior or the herald, that's actually going to be 8. So that means that you're going to have 1 extra point that you could spend elsewhere. Also, we have 15 faith and 40 luck. I actually only leveled luck up to 30 with this build, but the hollow weapons, as you see here, they're giving me a +5 to each in luck, so that means that when I have both of them equipped, they're giving me a +10, which gives me up to 40 luck. Now, one thing that you should know about that is if I took off the hollow Caestus, that actually only makes me go to 35 luck, and say if I took off the Twinblades as well, then I would go back to 30 luck. So you actually have to have these equipped and showing. But the cool thing is you could go into dual wield, and that basically still counts as far as having 40 luck, since the Caestus is technically still showing and equipped. But there's a lot to talk about with this build in general, and the first thing that you guys should note is hollowing. Now, hollowing, basically you have to save some type of NPC, which is right before the undead settlement bonfire, so it's actually really early in the game. I believe it's called, let me see here, it's called the Foot of the High Wall. I believe he's in this area where you can rescue this guy. I think he's like some kind of robed creature type of dude. I don't know what you would call him. But you rescue him and he goes back to Firelink, and you can basically get a free level from him, and he gives you a dark sigil in return, which is this thing right here, and it basically accumulates curse as long as you have it in your inventory, and that means every time you die your hollowing will increase by +1. So once you get past 15 hollowing, you will be set for a luck build, and that means that these hollow weapons will be able to give you a +5 to luck when you max each one of them out. So that's kind of what you want to do, and you want to prioritize on getting your hollowing past 15. I know there's a lot of videos and a lot of stuff on Google and things like that in case you guys have any more questions, but you can also ask me as well, and I will try to answer those to the best of my abilities. But also, For our gear, we're going to be using the Fallen Knight Helm, we're going to be using the Northern Armor, the Outrider Knight Gauntlets, and the Nameless Knight Leggings. I basically put anything that'll get me below the 70% weight ratio, and it just happened to be this, and it actually looks good as well, so I got the best of both worlds. And I should have mentioned, as far as the Hollow Caestus goes, I mainly got this just so we get a +5 to luck. I do parry with it at times, but I find myself trying to apply bleed earlier as well instead of using this to parry. But you can also go with some of those parrying shields that there are in this game if you don't like to use the Caestus at all. And for our rings, we're going to be using the Chloranthy ring, the Prisoner's Chain, the Ring of Steel Protection to counter the Prisoner's Chain debuff, and also the Ring of Favor. And as some other things that you guys should note, I'm trying to not forget anything here. The Carthus Rouge, as you see here at the bottom, you can buy these from the Shrine Lady in the Firelink Shrine, which basically I think it costs 1,000 souls, and it applies, if you take a look here at what it does, it basically adds a lacerating effect to your right hand weapon, which means it applies a little bit more of a bleed effect, so it helps you get bleed faster on your enemies. So I like to use this with the Twinblades, since the Twinblades are incredibly quick and it's very easy to apply bleed. It only takes like 3 regular hits and they already got the insane bleed burst applied to them. So I like to use that on the Twinblades, and from there I could kind of switch it up and go with the Hollow Washing Pole, and that's basically what I like to do. Now other things, I know that a lot of you mentioned that you like to see me talk about what kind of stats you should level up early in the game. Now honestly, I find it to be a little bit easy to do this. What I like to do is I like to go with a lot of Vigor early in the game. I also like to keep Endurance a little high, but I like to go with my main damage stat as well. So Dexterity, in this case, I like to level up Dexterity and Vigor a lot with this build. And as far as luck goes, I really wouldn't worry about that, not until you get at least 15 hollowing. Once you get 15 hollowing, then I would start just pouring a lot of points into luck and getting luck to a maximum of 30. That way, once you have these hollow weapons, you'll be able to max that out and cap it at 40 luck. So that's kind of what I like to do, guys. That's kind of like my rough stats. Also, I wouldn't mind leveling up Faith at all, not until you get the Tears of Denial, which we're going to be using. That will give us an extra hit that we can take as far as after we die, so it kind of saves me a lot as well. But I'm trying to really think if I'm missing anything here. If I have, then let me know in the comments, and I will try to let you guys know what else. But that should do it, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this luck build. I also got one coming up right after this, which is a strength version. I basically just switched up strength and dexterity, and everything else is the same, but we're also going to be using strength weapons for that one. So I will get that one out real quick. But that should do it, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I will be sure to get back at you. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.